Monkey business. Cheeky chimps on the motorway. Drivers were surprised to see monkeys running all over the road yesterday. The lorry taking them to their home at Burwell Zoo had broken down. While the lorry driver went to get help, one of the monkeys managed to lift the latch on the door. Inspector Baker said the monkeys looked like they were having great fun. They climbed all over the road signs and scrambled up the lampposts. One even sat on top of the police car. Some drivers got irate because of the traffic jam, but most drivers were prepared to see the funny side. "I'm pleased to say all the cheeky chimps are now safely back in the zoo," said Inspector Baker last night. Now, as you can see, it's a different kind of text this week. This week's text is a news article, so it's the kind of thing you'd find in a newspaper when something has happened that people need to know about. Now, we could argue whether people need to know about the chimps on the motorway, but it's an interesting story that lots of people would like to read, I'm sure. So on to the questions. If we start with the Do You Remember section, those green ones at the top, it says, copy these sentences, choose the correct word to fill each gap. So we've got 5 questions there, and each one has 3 different answers that you could use to finish the sentence. Number 1 says, the monkeys escaped from a something. And you've got ship, lorry and train to choose from. Number 2 says it was taking them to a something, forest, zoo or circus. Number 3, they got out through the something, door, window, roof. Number 4, something of the car drivers thought it was funny, most, all or none. And question 5, the police inspector called them cheeky chimps, silly sausages, or mad monkeys. Some fantastic examples of alliteration there when 2 words start with the same sound. On to the next section, more to think about. These ones you're going to need to write a little bit more because it says write a sentence to answer each question. So before you start your sentence, think, does it make sense? Will it have a capital letter? Will it have finger spaces? And will it have a full stop? Because those are the 4 things our sentences always need. Number 1, why did the lorry driver leave the monkeys on their own? So read carefully through the text and think, why were those monkeys left and where was the lorry driver? Number 2, do you think the chimps were pleased to be out of the lorry and why? Again, use evidence from the text to justify your answer. Number 3, how did the monkeys get out of the lorry? Number 4, why were some of the drivers cross? And number 5, write these phrases in your own words. So this time you've got to think about what these phrases mean and then put them into your words. So you might need some synonyms, those words that mean the same thing but aren't the same words. Words like happy and cheerful, words like angry and mad. So 5A is some drivers got irate. Now irate is quite a tricky word you might not have heard of before. You've got a grown-up at home you could ask, or you could also have a search on the internet as long as there's a grown-up there with you to make sure it's safe. And 5B says most drivers were prepared to see the funny side. So we've got an interesting phrase there, the funny side. So again, think about what that means and how you could say that differently. And on to the final section, the more challenging questions, the now try these. Number 1 says, imagine you are one of the monkeys. Write the article from your point of view. So you're going to be writing a news article similar to this one to explain what happened, but you're going to do it from the point of view of a monkey. So think about how the monkey would be feeling, what the monkey would say about the event, and what kind of things have happened. Number 2 says one of the drivers writes a letter to the zoo complaining about the incident. Pretend you are the driver and write the letter. So again, you're pretending to be somebody else when you write this answer. You're going to be one of the drivers who got stuck in traffic when the monkeys escaped. Thinking about how you were feeling, what happened, and what you want the zoo owner to know. And remember those things like Dear Sir, Madam, and Yours Sincerely, that letters always have. And our final question this week, question 3, where do you think the monkeys would prefer to be? In the zoo, loose on the road, or in the jungle? Explain your answer. So you've got 3 different answers there, And you might not need the text for this one because this one's going to be more about your opinion and what you know about monkeys. So you can think about where monkeys usually live. Maybe you've seen them in a zoo before, or less likely out in the road, and think about where you think they might be the most happy. Again, those three options are the zoo, loose on the road, or in the jungle. Once you've finished those, take a picture and upload it to Dojo because I would love to see your answers.